Hello, fellow Nigerians. It's been a past few heavy weeks for us uh, with the Oyo State kidnapping, Orire local government. And today I want to take a critical view of how this whole situation has happened and the pattern and the situation of things as it is, and what the solutions are, maybe for some opinions. Let's get right into it, shall we? Okay, so we've known that there have been kidnappings of pupils from Orire local government for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks counting, and the pupils are yet to be returned. Um, let's take a critical view at this, okay? Let's see how it began or where it is going. So on social media, of course, like I said last week, that opponents are going to take advantage of this and see it as an opportunity to rally for popularity and gain grounds for their own political ambition. But it turns out that I think Tinubu is actually making more noise media-wise, social media-wise. And I don't think the opposition are coming in with strong points for this situation, to nail APC to the coffin. There might be a reason for that. So let me take us back to when they started. I was in year 1 in the university, and I was going through a practical at the time, and there was this news. It was very heavy, tensed in the air. Then everybody was talking about it. There's a fraction called Boko Haram, an Islamic group that is against other religion apart from Islam and Western education. And they began to cause atrocities in the north. It started, I heard this in 2010. When I researched it back then, I realized it had started way back in 2009. And then in 2010, it became a global news shared. And if memory serves me well, President Musa Yar'Adua was the president then in Northern. And shortly after his death, President Goodluck Jonathan came into power in 2010. And I think Yar'Adua died in 2009. Goodluck Jonathan came into power 2010 till 2015. Something happened in Nigeria in 2014, and that was the abduction of the Chibok girls. Remember? And if you trace it back, you realize that there's been a pattern. When a president wants to go in for a re-election, there seems to be a major strike that happens in the country. So it's not going to be different if Obi is there, if Tinubu is there, if Seyi Makinde is there, Atiku is there. It's not going to matter. One, because the organization surpasses, it's bigger, let me put it that way, it's bigger than a national thing. It is an international operation. The group has long joined forces with ISIL, ISIS, ISWAP, you know. Islamic State's funding has entered into the very root of things. So they are well funded. If the Nigerian government does not fund them, if Nigerian government officials don't fund them, international governments will fund them. But I know they can be decapacitated. I know they can be suppressed. And the group can disappear. Okay? So, when Jonathan was there, the Chibok girls were missing. So, it's not a situation of Tinubu has the worst government. It is not a political, I don't want to say it is not a political matter. It's more than who is in the office, the presidential office. Let me put it that way. It's more than who is the president of Nigeria. Let's say it this way, right? Every president, wherever in the world, they are like actors playing a character. They are like WWE actors. You know, when you watch wrestling, it does not look fake, right? Until you mature, your mind matures, and you begin to realize, come on, what is happening here? You know, doesn't mean they are not athletes, but there's just more than what meets the eyes with wrestling. And if you watch some documentaries, you realize how they take tutorials and rehearse the acting. Okay. So what does this mean? It means that every government in the world is compromised. Okay. Especially the ones on the global scene. Especially the ones on the global scene. The day Nigerians will realize that someone is the best president for them is the man that stands up and says he is shutting the borders to Nigeria. Someone who says he is developing his country, does not want to have anything to do with the global stage until the development has gone to a particular level. Until we find a man that stands and says that is his mission for the country. Until then, we are not going to find, or we might not find, let me put it that way, any president that is coming to fulfill the wish and the will of the people. Why? Because being on the global stage costs a lot of things. It compromises the government of that country. You have to do business, compromise on some things with other countries so as to benefit, so as to grow your economy, so as to have allies when it comes to security, a lot of things. And power begin to exchange in different sectors. In America right now, it is said to have 3 industrial complexes. The first is the financial industrial complex. The second is the military industrial complex. The third is the new one, which is the technological industrial complex. They are new, but they've begun to gain ground because traces, not even traces, it's there online how Elon Musk funded President Trump's campaign, how Repo funded President Trump's campaign and some state government. So these complexes, they harness power majorly through the financial industrial complex. The financial industrial complex is at the center of it. The military industrial complex, that one is a unique one. America, history has it, maybe I should say speculation, but their history calculates that the World War II started the rise of the military industrial complex of the world, whereby countries saw the financial implication, profit in this matter in fighting wars. And so, wars must continue. They get funding and they get backing. And you know what happens? When weapons are made, they have to be sold. And when they are sold to be used. Am I getting somewhere? Hence, selling of weapon has nothing in the mind of governments, has nothing to do with you fighting war. You are an organization, you have money to buy few guns, drones, fighter jets from us. We are here to make money. It is business. We sell. What you decide to do with it is not our concern. So they think. So they say. Until it begins to affect their financial development into other countries, then they start to curb. And when they curb with more wars against, whether it be a faction, whether it be, according to a research I made, I can't remember the guy's name, Russell, this English actor. It was found out that America sold weapons to ISIS, global terrorists. Okay? But it has nothing to do with America. That was just pure business. Now, this is the dynamic of the world. So that you are finding guns in the hand of these terrorists that are terrorizing the country, it didn't happen by mistake. As a matter of fact, it is helping to propel the military industrial complex. You see, when they get the ransom, someone is on their neck saying they have to buy more guns, they have to buy more weapons, they have to buy more armor tanks, they have to buy more war-inclined materials. So, and your government have signed agreements running decades with some of these countries. So, let's take it back. There are some countries, we'll take China for example. maybe Dubai, for example. Countries that shut their border to develop, heaven did not fall. They made do with what they had. Yes, you cannot take their currency. They can't take their currency and go into the global market to say they want to spend it. It is not recognized. They spend it in-house. What they had was contentment, was enough for them and their people to survive and their economy to grow within it house. And when it has fortified itself enough with the ideology it sets to bring to its people, it opens its borders. And when other countries flock in to see what they have, they can't change the ideology of the people. And then the people remain respected on the global scene. That was what happened with China. That was what happened to the Gulf states. Nigeria can do the same. But the reason why we might not do the same is because of greed of the leaders. The intention of going to the presidential seat does not seem to be for the people. As a matter of fact, they have found a way to be elected without the common man. They made a way around it. They found a way around it. They wrote rules around it. Now in Nigeria, they say they start with party members. Within party members, they have delegates. Within delegates, they have electorates. Within electorates now gather people within their communities, their societies, their local government areas. These electorates are the ones bearing the card to vote anyone through the primaries. Okay, so they are being settled. You might not even know them. They don't have any political office. They are just useful during election. They are card-carrying members of a party. So they vote their candidates in through the primaries of the parties. And these electorates are the same people that call people together, the women you see that come out to vote, the youths you see that come out to vote. They are being organized by these electorate members within their electorates. That's when you hear people saying, I've delivered my constituency. I have delivered my local government area. So they organize people in that community, in that local government, to vote a particular person. And yes, that's where money comes in. So you and I, that we don't know these electorates, if we vote for them, we are just bonus. So don't think you're the one voting them into power. Just bonus. And that is why this will not concern them. This is why they will not swing into action, because their election is not determined by the normal people of Nigeria, the citizens of the country. They have selected the people that vote. So recently, right, I began to realize that the bandits going online, doing live videos and whatnot on TikTok, on Facebook, I began to notice and observe that they are young boys. They're like teenage boys, very young. And that made me retrace back to this. Let me show you. For example, this is Abubakar Shekau, the one that led the Islamic group and tagged themselves Boko Haram. This was the first terrorist leader, so to speak. And if you look at him, right, he is a man. If he's very young, he will be in his 20s, yeah? If he's very young, he will be in his 20s. And I'm beginning to realize what changed within that system, that it is now the small boys that are handling guns. And it came to me because he was killed. All right, he said he was killed in 2021, suicide bombing, when ISIS decided to, kill him. I think they said they wanted to, according to the story, it was going to be replaced by ISIS because he went into coalition with ISIS and it was about to be replaced, and he separated the group, and then his group went as Boko Haram and or ISIL, and the other group went as ISWAP. So even within that organization, there has been a defunct, there has been a disruption, so to speak. And this brings me to how the structure was easily being made in Nigeria. So when people say that when you see this Fulani herdsmen, kill them, the thing is you will get tired of killing them. You know the number of Almajiris that walk the streets of northern states? My God, I was opportune to be in the north for 3 weeks. Not in recent times, of course, but when I saw the Almajiris, you see a 7-year-old carrying his or 3-month-old or 7-month-old sibling, begging for arms, begging for menial jobs to do. And these menial jobs we're talking about, this period I'm talking about 2013. So, and they are working for, let's say, 100 naira just to feed. Are you telling me these same children, when they grow up to be teenagers, with this life that they've lived, and they see an opportunity where they can make 100,000 naira per day, just to carry guns and terrorize some people off their farmland, you think they won't take it? These people don't have a sense of value. They don't think like the south and the western part of this country think. They don't think of legacy. They don't think of dreaming for the future or long-term aspirations. They are on the road. They don't have where to sleep. There are still many of them in the West when we were growing up. They sleep in front of stores. They sleep in the West right now. They sleep in uncompleted buildings. The ones that made it this far. The ones that made it this far. And they see it making it this far to the West, to the South, as an opportunity for them. So now we go tired to the kill them all. If we say we want start to the kill them, we go tired all. How many do we want to kill? They are being shipped in daily. And they say here is a greener pasture for them. The West, the South. So, what then is the solution to all of this? Only one thing. seems to be an answer. If we must decide, if we must know for certain who is leading the people, that person must lead Nigeria first out of globalization. Nah, globalization cannot help us right now. We need consistent growth development first before we open our borders to do business with other countries. Deglobalization is the key for Nigeria right now. Because we have too much to lose. The average Nigerians have too much to lose to go to war or to accept war or revolution. The people that are talking about revolution, please sit down. When you see war, serious one, you will think, even if you want to fight, you will think, even if I lay my life down for my family, what is the probability that my family will still survive the war anyway? That begins to dawn on us. So that you go into a war does not mean everything gets better after you die in that war. And when a war does not give you a glimpse of hope, nobody wants to go into that war and fight it. Nobody. When you have something to lose, nobody does. And so deglobalization, we must shut our borders. Countries have done it before. Pata, they will not buy our oil. Everything they come to us to get, they have it in surplus. We make 1.4 barrels of crude oil per day. America makes 13 million barrels per day. Saudi Arabia makes 3.4 million per day. So we are not the highest producing crude oil country. So nobody is going to come and frustrate us out of our oil. Do you get what I'm saying? It does not have to be immediate, right? You can equip your country with the food, with the financial backing you need for the amount of time you want to deglobalize. But you can deglobalize. China did it. Dubai did it. Heaven will not fall. If you are not thinking of buying Rolls Royce and you are not thinking of building the biggest mansion, heaven will not fall if Nigeria closes and shuts its borders against other countries. North Korea is doing it. We are not hearing them falling down and dying, or heaven has fallen down on them. It is doable. Our leaders are just too greedy to take that route. It is possible. What it just means is that we don't have money. But there will be satisfaction, there will be security, and then there will be hope for the future. What shutting your border means is it helps you build a character as people. Build an ideology as people. So that by the time you're ready to open your borders to other countries, they know they cannot come and change these people's mindset anymore. They have to work with what they see. That is why the China cannot be infiltrated. There is nothing they can do to Gulf states that can infiltrate them. You can bring your business, but we know something. This is an Islamic state. This is how we do things. This is how we do things. Even the Christians, they dare not go against such rules that they have on ground. Everybody works with an ideology. Just some years. Let the young ones amongst us grow with the right ideology. and then let the people adapt to the lifestyle. You cannot ship in Rolls Royce again. You can't. You can't oppress again. The ones that are here are the ones we will see for the next 15 to 20 years to 30 years. Yes, that is what it means. You cannot come here and spray dollars. That currency is not allowed on the shores of Nigeria anymore. Yes, that is what it means. For our future, I think we can take that sacrifice. We should be able to take that sacrifice. Another solution is building an industrial complex within the country. I see the fast pace at which fintech is growing in Nigeria. There's money in that industry. We have the likes of Paystack, name it. Even Flutterwave is in Nigeria, name it. Gather 10 of them as an organization, let them come together and sponsor a developmental program on 2 branches. One, they bring in the adolescents from the north and silently make sure the idea behind this development is not open to their own northern leaders because they know what they are doing. Suppressing the minds of these young ones to follow them in directions they want them to go. So you bring them in, they're already coming to the West anyway through their trailers. So let them keep coming that way. At that point that they come in, you ship them. They go through the educational system. Now you mix them with the Westerners and the Southerners. Okay, it's not as if you are separating them. No, don't separate them. Mix them into schools that the Southerners and the Westerners go to. The young ones, the ones that are teenagers and upward, and they don't go. Bring in the younger ones. And by the time they are done with their university education, sponsor them scholarships, is what I'm saying, through educational system. Reintegrate them. Now, while they are growing in that system of education, begin to build infrastructures in the north. The ones that accept infrastructures, the Gombes, the Kadunas, the Jos, build infrastructures there. So that when they leave, when they are done with the educational system here, you reintegrate them. And so they begin to build the new ideological system of hope, of future thinking within their societies. And they to begin to build things because they saw the life they were coming from. And now they know better how to improve their life. So even if their leaders that want them a particular way continues to want them that way, they have their hands tied. They have their plans, being disrupted by these new ideas, these new people coming into their systems. Because truly nobody really wants to die. And if you see someone that went through the same thing that you went through and made it out and was able to work with this company, that company, why can't you have it? So if somebody is telling you wear a bomb vest, go into the desert and stay there, go into the bush and pursue farmers, they're going to be thinking, no, there's a better way I can, for how much? There's a better way I can live. It's a disruptive move. It's a long-term move, but it's also a long-term solution. And the third one is allowing state government to handle risk events by themselves. It took the federal government to do something about the Oyo state kidnapping. By sending 1,000 men into the bush, forest guards. an event that has gone on for 2 weeks. Report has it that state governments have security votes where they have money for security reasons. Now, what I don't hear is the legitimacy for state government to carry out operations for emergency cases. Okay, so emergency wise, situations like that, let the state government handle the problem as much as they can. Okay, so this federal government does not need to wait or need to drop everything to attend to a situation. That is, the state government is capable of taking care of its people, and the people are closer to their state government to demand what they want. Okay, so if the state government have security votes, let's give them the legitimacy to handle emergency response, to take care of emergency events, security events, and then they're answerable to their people. Okay, all right. I think that covers it for the critical view I intend to go to for the Oyo State killing, tracing it down to how it began and where we are and what the solutions are if we're ready to actually really face the truth. All right, that brings us to the end of today's show. Thank you for joining me. And I would like you to subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notifications whenever I drop any episode on the channel. And I hope to see you here next week. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.